Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jade, and today I'm going to be sharing my thoughts, reviewing, if you will, the Folk of the Air series, but only the first two books, The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King, because I'm still working my way through that third book. But I just had so many opinions, feelings, thoughts, that I couldn't save it. I couldn't wait to finish. I was like, I've got to say something now. Got to get it out. So the hope for today is to dive in fast, just get in, get out, hoping to make this a short, sweet review, opinion, thought, about my book. My book, I didn't write it, I just love it. About Holly Black's book. Right off the top, my favorite thing so far about this series has really been the moral grayness of the characters. I think Holly Black has done such a phenomenal job, and this is the first Holly Black I've ever read, and I was very excited to get into her work. I will say, if you're not a big fan of morally gray characters or decision making that is possibly going to frustrate you or you might not always align with, then perhaps this isn't the best fit for you, but if that is something that is your cup of tea, please proceed. I will say that the series so far as a whole is making me think that maybe I'm not as smart and clever, dare I say cunning, as I thought perhaps I was, as I hoped to aspire to be, because you would think that I would get to a point where I could no longer be bamboozled by the deceptions and the betrayals. I thought, okay, there's no way that I could possibly be deceived again by a character or surprised by a plot twist. I know how it works here in Faerie. I'm well versed in what kind of crap these characters are gonna pull, and then bam, it just keeps happening continually. I'm like, wait, what is going on? And that is the second reason I love these stories and books so much so far, because it is such a joy to read something when you don't always predict what's gonna happen, or you don't have the clues so laid out that you can really follow the trail to where it's gonna go. And that was absolutely my experience so far with reading these stories, is I don't know what's gonna happen. I know there's gonna be betrayal, but when I think I know what that's gonna be, it turns out that I'm wrong. Or I'm not prepared for it emotionally. These books are brutal. There's a lot of bloodshed, a lot of death, a lot of just trauma, you know? So also, if that's not something that you vibe with, maybe not the best series to read for you. Quinn, my cat, has a lot of opinions about this as well. Do you want to tell them what you think now that you're here? Or are you suddenly camera shy? Do we love Prince Carden? Yes. Yes, we do. I think you would do well in Faerie. What was I talking about before Quinn interrupted me? I'm sorry. That sounds like I didn't appreciate it before Quinn graced me with her presence and opinions. And a little bit of cuddles. Cuddles and books go very well together. Well, since I can't remember, we're just gonna move on. I would say this is a medium to fast-paced read. I think I would err on the side of fast-paced, but I always can't decide if I'm classifying a book as fast-paced because I'm deeply absorbed in it and just flying through it, or because the plot and the action is actually fast-paced. But for what it is worth, I did fly through these books. I finished the first two in about 3 days. Granted, I am on a holiday vacation right now, so I don't have work or any other obligations keeping me from these stories, so that definitely helped. But I think overall, compared to the way I felt reading books my whole life, this has been a very smooth, like butter, read. It has political intrigue, espionage, it has some really intense and insightful themes such as power and vulnerability and privilege and what happens and how are people shaped by the cruelty they experience. It has hot fairies. I think if you decide to read this and you haven't already, you're not going to be disappointed. And if you are, I cannot be held legally responsible, I'm pretty sure. And you know, it is something special when a book that you're reading makes you physically put it down and have to walk away for a moment to process, or what I like to think of as rage quitting. It has family dynamics and relationships. It has some LGBTQ representation. And I think Holly Black does a really cool job of weaving together the mortal world and the fairy world in a way that I can kind of pick up on when the language is mortal talk, like modern day mortal people speak, and when it's like fairy talk, when they're talking as if they're in Elfhame. And I think that is something that's really cool. The whole story is told from first person POV, that being Jude's. And I think something that's interesting about that format for me is really being able to step into like the eyes, the viewpoint of a character. And I find that really exciting. And I think it's even like more exciting and interesting to read a character who is as nuanced and not like this black and white, good, bad, evil, angelic, whatever dichotomy, binary you want to use, because it also makes you think about more so and question your own decisions and your own choices. And I always love when books do that. Who doesn't? Who doesn't want to get a little self-reflective? Probably a lot of people, including me sometimes. I mean, I just want to read to get away from it all. Nice to meet you, Prince Carden. I could show you incredible things. Not really magic, maybe heaven and sin. I saw you there and I thought, oh my god, look at that face. That definitely looks like it's gonna be a mistake. But Fairyland is where I want to play. I got a blank space, baby. And I'll write Prince Carden's name. I always like to think about the characters I'm reading and ponder the question, would they be a Swiftie? Probably no. In this case. Thank you all for joining me. If you want more reviews, thoughts like this, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, let me know in the comments. This is the first time I've really talked about books on here, but I'm thinking I might do it more because I could spend days talking about the fiction that I've consumed and continue to consume. And it would be really cool to have people talking to me about it too. I will leave all of my socials down below, so feel free to follow me anywhere, except in real life. Don't do that. Take care out there, stay the sparkling stardust that you are, and I will review you later. Bye! Because I could make the bad guys hopefully not kill me for a weekend. So it's gonna be forever! If I could only figure out how to get kidnapped to Fairyland, or it's gonna go down in flames. You can tell me right now how the hell I get to Elfhame. Even though I probably shouldn't go because I think I would die there.